You ever been in a dark room? The kind where the air itself feels heavy? I'm not talking about turning off the lights. I'm talking that deep, behind the eyes darkness. The place where every whisper, every twitch of your tired body fills the whole damn space. They say that's where the monsters live. Maya, she knew that place better than her own kitchen. Maya, she was like anyone you see on the street, except for one difference. Her head wasn't just a thinker, it was a battleground. Migraines, bad ones. Not the kind you pop some pills and dim the lights for. No, these were the kind that take over your whole life. Pain so sharp you could cut diamonds with it, squeezing her whole world out till there was nothing left but the pounding in her skull. These migraines, they didn't care about plans, dreams, nothing. Came and went like they owned the place, leaving Maya a wreck waiting for the next blow to fall. And then, one morning, after a night so dark it felt like she'd never seen the sun again, she reached a breaking point, a flicker of desperation, and something maybe a little like hope. Thing with desperation is, it makes you see what you didn't before. Like that email, just sitting in her inbox, the subject line reading like a damn billboard, "End your suffering, migraine experiment." Now Maya wasn't one to jump at internet promises, but when the alternative is that darkness behind your eyes, suddenly, experimental doesn't sound so bad. Turned out, this experiment came with a whole lot of mystery wrapped up in it. Clinic was off in some forgotten corner of the city, like it didn't want to be found. Inside, that same cold, quiet feeling you get in hospitals, only a little bit sharper. Doctor, he was the kind of guy who gives you the shivers, not 'cause he's mean, but 'cause you just know he's seen things. He talked about this treatment, never using the usual medical lingo, more like he was spinning a yarn. Rewrite your brain, he says, like it's changing a light bulb. But ain't nobody fixing electrical problems in Maya's head. So, the real question, the one he never quite gives a straight answer to, what's it gonna cost? Turns out, this ain't covered by insurance. The price tag here, it's Maya's whole self. The guy in the shiny glasses, he's straight up saying this treatment messes with your head. Memory, the way you see the world. It could all change, could even lose your grip on reality. So there's Maya, stuck in that cold room, between a life that's already half gone and gambling the rest on some promise whispered in an email. This ain't your normal doctor's appointment. This is a choice that echoes, not just weeks or months, but forward into a whole future Maya barely recognizes anymore. In the end, she doesn't. Signs those papers, takes a step toward a treatment nobody really understands. Brave ain't strong enough a word. Maybe desperate, maybe hopeful, or maybe a little bit of both, twisted together so tight you can't tell them apart. Steps out of that clinic and suddenly, even the streetlights seem to flicker different. Maya's just started something bigger than herself, something about the way pain works, the way minds work. It's like a story she's trapped inside, one where the ending ain't written yet. Could be a miracle, could be something darker. This is Maya's story, yeah, but it kind of echoes in all of us, don't it? That question, what kind of gamble would you take to get free of your own personal hell? That's where we start. This ain't no bedtime story. It's about the fight, the darkness, and that sliver of light we chase, even when we ain't sure where it leads. So, come on, follow Maya down the rabbit hole. Just pray. There's something waiting on the other side. Maya. Well, she wasn't in Kansas anymore. That white room, it was like a blank page in the middle of your worst nightmare. Now, normally the brain's a busy thing. Thoughts, memories, that inner voice nagging away. But here, it was quiet. Not peaceful quiet. More like the quiet before the storm hits and every damn bird goes silent. She sits up on that bed, stiff like she ain't slept in 100 years. Maybe she hasn't. Maybe this is some real Twilight Zone stuff. The room's playing tricks on her eyes like the whole place was scrubbed raw, like nothing ever happened there before. Maya feels it in her bones. Nothing normal happens here. Then that voice comes, crackling over the silence like someone's got a bad radio connection to the other side. Welcome, Maya. Welcome, they say, like she stepped into some kind of freaky spa retreat. But that voice, it's got a hook in it, like she knows it from some dream she can't quite remember.
Where am I?
She says. And damn, even her own voice sounds foreign, like she's underwater. The room, it just sucks the sound right out. And the voice, let's just say, it ain't got a bedside manner.
A place of healing,
It says, like butter wouldn't melt in its mouth. Maya can almost taste the lies behind that word, healing. This ain't no hospital. This is something else entirely.
You've been given a rare opportunity, Maya.
Yeah, rare like getting struck by lightning twice in the same day. Her mind's buzzing now, trying to make sense of it all. Was this the part they didn't put in the fancy email? Is this what she signed up for?
Who are you?
Maya spits it out, getting some fire back. But that voice, it just pauses, like it's weighing its words, making her feel small as a bug under glass.
A guide,
It says finally.
but also a reflection.
Now, that's the kind of talk that makes your skin crawl. Guide to what? Hell? And a reflection. Of who? The Maya who got desperate enough to take this crazy gamble, or something darker she don't want to face. The room. It seems to breathe now, pulsating with a rhythm she can only feel in her gut.
What do you want?
She grits out, standing tall now. This ain't some doctor's office anymore. This is a showdown.
Only what you're willing to give.
The damn voice says, smooth as oil, like it knows exactly what she's willing to risk for a chance at a normal life, like it's got her number, down to the last painful throb in her head.
And if I refuse?
Maya throws back. That's when the room tightens, like a noose around her neck. The voice, it ain't warning her no more.
Refusal is your prerogative.
It says. But there's a threat in the air thicker than fog, like the easy way out ain't really an option anymore. And that's when it hits Maya. She's in way over her head. This ain't about pills and prescriptions. This is about bearing her soul to whatever's running this freak show. The white room, the crackly voice, it's all just the setting for a play she don't even know the title of. She takes a breath, tastes the fear in it, but also something else. Kind of like grit. Maya might be scared, but she ain't stupid. She knows she's been pushed into a corner. Now the only question is whether she fights her way out or dives right into the heart of that corner, straight into the darkness that might just consume her.
What do I have to do?
A surrender? Maybe. A challenge? Definitely. That voice, it seems to smile now like it's won a round.
Simply be... Maya.
But its victory might be short-lived. Maya's got a look in her eyes now, a look that says she ain't gonna just be. She's gonna fight back, even if she don't know how, even if it costs her everything. You ever have one of those moments where the world just twists? Like everything you knew is suddenly up for grabs, and you're left dangling like a puppet with its strings cut? That's how Maya felt after the voice went quiet. This white room of hers, it ain't getting any more friendly. Now it's just a blank stare, a dare even, saying, go on, figure me out. Well, Maya, she ain't one to back down. She stands tall like she's taken a head count of the emptiness. Every inch of that damn room gets her attention. Each corner gets a glare like it might sprout fangs. But that room, it just sits there, whiter than a lie, quieter than a graveyard. Her head, though, that's a different story. It's buzzing with memories. Her apartment, with its piles of books and half-finished coffee mugs, that feels like a lifetime ago now. Work friends, all those bits and pieces that used to make up her life, they're like ghosts now, wisps of smoke compared to the solid, empty quiet of this place. Then something flickers. It's not a light, not exactly. More like a wrongness in the air. Maya, she's sharp. even when her world's turned upside down. She zeroes in on it, and there, it's a smudge, like a shadow on a fresh coat of snow. On one of those blank walls, the shadow takes shape, gets edges. It's a damn door. Maya almost laughs. A door, out of nowhere. Like this room's sprouting exits now, playing mind games. But Maya, she's been pushed this far. Fear's got a sour taste in her mouth, but under that, there's something brighter. Maybe it's desperation. Maybe it's that fight we all got in us when there ain't nothing left to lose. That door. It's a test. That voice, the crackly one that sounds like it's got secrets buried under its tongue. It promised this, didn't it? To challenge her, to show her things. Well, Maya ain't afraid of a door, but she ain't stupid either. Years in college, sharpening her mind like a knife. That ain't for nothing. This ain't just about getting out of this freak show. This is about how it works, about the strings making her dance, about wrestling control back from whatever's hiding in the shadows.
I see your game.
She says into the empty room. Maybe her voice trembles a bit. Nobody but the walls would know it.
But I ain't your pawn. Whatever's behind that door, I'm going to walk through it my own way.
The room don't argue back. The door just stands there, silent as the grave. Maya, she takes a breath that feels heavy as lead, and every step towards that door is a gamble. She ain't just walking into another room. She's stepping into who knows what, maybe right into the heart of her own damn mind. But hey, what's life without a little risk, right? Reason, that's Maya's weapon, and a stubborn streak a mile wide, that's her armor. When she opens that door, it ain't about escaping anymore. It's about facing what's inside head on and holding on to herself with both hands. 'Cause Maya's story ain't some doctor's appointment gone wrong. It's a battle cry, a challenge met in the dead silence of that white room. And that door? It ain't the end of the story, just the turning of a page, into something a hell of a lot darker, I bet. All right, Maya steps through that door, but let me tell you, she ain't walking into nothing normal. The room's still the same room, see, but different, like a reflection in a cracked mirror. Now Maya, she ain't dumb, and this hits her like a sack of bricks. This ain't no hospital, no therapy session. This place, it ain't limited by walls and doors. It's inside her head, and those walls are shifting, bending, like they're made of her worst nightmares. Just when it couldn't get any creepier, whispers start creeping in. Not the kind you share at a sleepover, no. These whispers got tendrils, like they're reaching back into her past, dragging up the stuff she'd rather leave buried. At first, it's like one of those bad trips you hear about, where voices blur and faces melt. But then they get clearer, taking shape. It's people she knows, or used to. That friend who turned her back, the teacher who saw her as worthless, a lover who only exists as a bittersweet ghost now. And those voices? They ain't saying the stuff you hear at reunions. This is mean, twisted up, echoing all her failures and deepest fears. To make matters worse, the damn room starts playing along. Shadows gather in the corners, stretching out like deformed versions of the very people whose voices are poison in the air. It's a full-on horror show in there, a nightmare made real, all churned up from the depths of her own mind. Maya, you better believe she's scared. But scared's one thing, broken's another. When that fight or flight reflex kicks in, she chooses fight.
Who are you?
She yells at the shadows, at the whispers clawing at her sanity. Silence drops heavy. The shadows freeze like they weren't expecting her to fight back. Then that voice returns, the creepy one that welcomed her into this madness.
We are reflections.
It says, like it's some kind of spooky therapist.
We are here to test you.
Maya's hands clench into fists. Test her? Like she's a damn lab rat? No way.
I reject you.
She spits back, finding a strength she didn't know she had.
You're just shadows. I made you.
The room, it reacts. It feels like the whole place shivers, and those damn shadows start to fade, dissolving back into the darkness they came from. Even the voices fade away, like someone flipped a switch. But Maya, even though she won this round, she ain't fooling herself. This place ain't done with her. It'll just find new ways to burrow into her head, play on her weaknesses. It's a war in there, a battle for her mind. Later, alone with the echoes of those whispers, Maya digs deep. This ain't just about surviving, she realizes. It's about understanding how those shadows got a foothold to begin with, about facing down the dark corners of her own self. This room, it's a weapon, yeah, but also a mirror. Scary as hell, but it's showing her some hard truths. She ain't walking out of this unchanged. The room's gonna test her, break her down maybe. But in those shards of herself, she might just find a new kind of strength. This journey, it's gonna lead her through hell, but the Maya who emerges on the other side, well, she just might be someone too stubborn, too damn strong to break entirely. So, you want darkness? That's fine. Maya found darkness inside herself, and a flicker of something fighting back. The room, it ain't just her prison anymore. It's a battleground, and as scary as it is, Maya's in for the damn fight. After she faced those shadows, the room, well, it seemed quiet. But it wasn't the good kind of quiet, like after a rainstorm. It was the kind that sets your teeth on edge, like something bad's just waiting to pounce. Maya, strong as she is, she ain't made of stone. That fight took something out of her, cracked her open a bit, and the room felt it. Now, it ain't about throwing shadows at her. It's about getting inside her head, messing with her from the core. Everything starts to blur. She's in there for hours or minutes or years. Who the hell can tell? This place ain't got time like we know it. Maya, she used to be sharp, knew who she was, walked with purpose. Now, reality's quicksand and nothing she thought she knew is solid anymore. Then, just when she's about to snap entirely, she breaks. Sobs rack her body, the kind that come from deep down, from that soul part of you that you keep hidden even from yourself.
I am lost!
She cries out, 'cause that's the plain damn truth. This place, it ain't just about her migraines no more. It's about her entire being, every fear and dream twisted into something ugly and raw. Her words hang in the air, heavy as a tombstone. She came in searching for a cure, but maybe all she's found is a whole new level of hell. That's when the voice comes back. Now listen, something's changed. Before, it was like talking to a bad radio signal. But now it's clear as day, cutting through the silence like something sharp and dangerous.
There is a way out,
It says. Now hold on. Maya ain't about to take promises from freaky voices no more. But the idea of escape, back to the real world, that's a light even the darkness in here can't snuff out.
What is the price?
She asks. Not begging, mind you, but wary. She knows ain't nothing free, not in this place, and especially not her freedom.
Truth.
The voice says, and there's gravity in that one word.
Truth you gotta fight for.
But ain't that the damn kicker, though? Truth ain't always pretty. Sometimes the truth is the monster under the bed you were too scared to look at. This truth, it ain't about some medical mystery. It's about Maya herself, about what she's hiding from the world, and even worse, from herself. But hey, Maya's at a crossroads, right? Stay lost in this nightmare or take a gamble that might just destroy her entirely. She takes a breath, tastes the fear in it, but underneath that fear, there's something else. A flicker of that fighting spirit she found when she faced the shadows.
I will face this trial,
She says. And damn if she doesn't mean it. A respect creeps into the voice now, like even it's impressed.
Then prepare yourself.
It warns. It ain't saying this'll be easy, but it hints at something else. That Maya ain't the first sucker to get tricked into this freaky experiment, and some of them might have made it out the other side. The room shifts again, and Maya, well, she ain't gonna have much choice but to shift with it. The path ahead, it ain't lit or marked. But it's something. It's a chance. And right now, chance is all she's got. This ain't the end of the story, not by a long shot. This is just getting to the really scary part, where Maya's got to stop fighting monsters in rooms and start fighting the ones living in her own head. But hey, if anyone can do it, I bet it's her. Okay, the room ain't playing fair anymore. Just when Maya gets her fighting spirit back, it stretches itself out, turns into a long, damn tunnel heading into the kind of darkness that makes your bones feel cold. The voice floats back, distant, saying,
To find the truth, you must first navigate the labyrinth of your own fears.
And let me tell you, this labyrinth ain't no kid's maze. It's more like walking through her worst nightmares, her darkest moments brought to life. There's that classroom, full of echoing whispers and pointing fingers. Ain't nothing hurts like being a kid and feeling the whole damn world is against you. Then there's the gut punch of love gone sour, with her lover's face morphing into a sneer, spewing all the things Maya's most afraid to hear. But it ain't just emotional torture. This damn corridor twists and turns, making her crawl through spaces so tight she feels the walls closing in, or opening up into spaces so big she's just a speck, surrounded by lurking shadows. And just when she's at the breaking point, a figure steps out of the darkness, calls himself Alex, seems nice enough, offers a hand up like he gets what she's going through, like he's also searching for some big truth. Maya, she's been on her own so long, the idea of trusting someone, of sharing the weight of this place. It's tempting, even if her gut warns her to be careful. This Alex, he's smooth, spills his own stories, talks about his own struggles like he's some kind of wounded warrior. And Maya, well, she ain't had human connection in who knows how long. They face the twists of that damn labyrinth together, helping each other past the nightmares it throws up. But this place, it ain't built for making friends. It's about tearing you apart, exposing your darkest truths. And the truth about Alex, well, it's about as bitter a pill as you can swallow. Turns out, he ain't real. Just another shadow, another illusion. The room brings them to this big, pulsing chamber where the only way forward is to spill out your biggest fear. Maya, heart still smarting from past betrayals, confesses she's terrified of being alone, that deep down she thinks she's unworthy of love and always will be. And bam! That's when Alex shifts, melts into something monstrous, a symbol of all the worst things Maya believes about herself. The room plays its hand, showing her that even in reaching for trust, connection, she'd let in just another weapon to cut her down. Maya's hurt, yeah, but she's also mad. This ain't just a mind game anymore, it's war. The betrayal stings, but it also flips a switch in her. She sees now that all these shadows, they ain't coming from outside. They're her own fears given shape. That's the cruel trick of this place, turning your worst nightmares against you, making you complicit in your own torture. But Maya ain't one to give up. She faces down the twisted version of Alex and the fears he represents, her anger fueling her steps. The labyrinth twists and turns, but she ain't running scared anymore. She's running through, like she's damn well done being the victim. If the only way out of this place is to confront every ugly thought, every insecurity, then she'll do it. Finally, she breaks free of the labyrinth, steps into a new room, maybe even a new version of that first, sterile one. But it ain't the room that's changed, Maya has. She went through hell, got beat down and tricked and almost broken. She found something inside herself even this place couldn't take. The trial ain't over, mind you. The room, being the manipulative kind of place it is, probably has all kinds of new lessons waiting. But Maya, she's ready. She won't just survive this place, she'll walk out of it stronger than when she came in. And maybe, just maybe, she'll walk out understanding herself, and that's a victory worth more than getting rid of any migraine. The labyrinth? That damn thing's behind her, but Maya don't feel like celebrating. She's in that same white room, but it ain't oppressive anymore. More like a battlefield after the fight. quiet, but with the ghosts of what happened lingering in the air. Maya, she's carrying the weight of it all, but it ain't just physical exhaustion. This was a war fought inside her own head. And that's when it breaks. Not with a scream or nothing dramatic, just a quiet surrender. She sinks to the floor, that coldness shocking her back into the real world. Ain't no comfort in it, but it's something solid to hold on to while the rest of her crumbles away. Then she talks, not to the room, not to whatever's watching her, just to herself. It's a confession, barely more than a whisper.
I have been broken.
She says it like she's finally admitting something she's known all along. This place, it wasn't just about finding a cure. It was about tearing her down to the core. But even in that brokenness, something shifts.
And yet, here I am, whole.
Her voice gets a bit stronger. Maya ain't the same as when she walked in here, that's for damn sure. But broken pieces can be put back together in new ways, stronger than before. She keeps going.
The room, it ain't my enemy.
That realization, it's like a revelation. All this time, fighting against the walls, the shadows, even her own damn thoughts. That's what was keeping her trapped. This place, with its endless white and its freaky manipulations, it's just showing her what's already inside, forcing her to face it. Maya gets to her feet, slow and careful, like she's learning to use her legs all over again.
I cannot fight what I am.
She says clear as a bell. This ain't about winning or losing no more. It's about accepting herself, the good and the bad, and finding a way to live with it all. A whole new kind of fighting spirit flickers in her eyes. She ain't gonna rail against this place or beg for mercy. She's going to work with it. Let the trials teach her what she needs to know to find her way out. The room's still a damn crucible, but now Maya's got a chance of coming out refined, not just burned to ash. The room, it reacts. It's subtle, like something in the air shifts, becomes charged with a different kind of energy. It ain't any easier, but now there's a flicker of something like respect from the shadows. Maybe the room itself is just as curious as the doctors or whatever's behind all this. Maybe it ain't a monster at all, just something that tests whoever walks in. And Maya just passed the first big one. She faces what comes next with a calm she never would have believed possible before. The shadows, they still mess with her, but their edges are softer, like they're losing their grip. Even the voices in her head, they ain't mocking her anymore, almost like they're cheering her on. Strange as hell, but Maya's earned her right to be in that room now. This journey, it ain't about escaping no more. It's about going so deep inside herself, she breaks through to the other side. Each trial ain't torture, it's a map, leading her towards who she really is, buried under all the fear and pain. The room, it ain't a prison no more. It's Maya's battlefield. And on that battlefield, she ain't just surviving. She's learning, growing, becoming the kind of person who can stare down the darkness and walk away stronger in the morning light. This ain't a sprint no more. It's a long-haul journey for Maya. Every step through that damn room, she ain't just fighting back. She's taking notes, like she's finally starting to crack the code of this madness, seeing it for what it is. A freaky funhouse mirror reflecting her soul back at her. The room, always up for a good challenge, keeps slinging nightmares at her. But Maya, she's changing the game. Ain't about denying the darkness anymore, about wishing it away. Maya gets it. We all got monsters lurking inside. She's gonna know hers, face them down till they have nothing left to throw at her. Picture this, Maya, standing in a room surrounded by mirrors. But these ain't showing her some idealized version of herself. They show her worst fears made real failures haunting her eyes, loneliness twisting her smile. Most folks would run screaming. Maya? She steps closer, talks to those reflections, admits the pain they hold, the truth they represent, until they start to fade, leaving behind just her. Not the perfect version, but stronger for having accepted the flaws. Now the room ain't gonna just let her stroll out of there after a few therapy sessions, right? Things take a turn for the worse. The room becomes a pit, deeper than any grave, darkness swallowing her whole. And there, shapeless and terrible, is her ultimate fear taking form. Ain't got claws or fangs, mind you. It's worse than that. This fear, it's the weight of everything bad Maya believes about herself, every reason she ever gave up. But Maya, she ain't the same woman who first stepped in here. This ain't a sword fight, she gets that. No way to hide from this fear either. So, she stands tall, voice clear, she talks to the darkness, to herself. Admits, yeah, it's got power over her. But then, she tells the story of her journey, the lessons learned, how even in the worst of it she found a strength she didn't know she had. And that's when it happens. The darkness don't disappear, don't get defeated. But Maya, she's changed the rules. The fear ain't some invincible enemy no more. It's a part of her journey, a bad stretch of road she needs to cross. This ain't about slaying dragons, but about growing big enough to walk on past them. Maya, she went through hell in that room. But she ain't broken, she's reforged. This ain't some fairy tale where she changes overnight, but she sees herself different. She understands the darkness now, which means it's lost its grip on her. Even the room reacts, like it's surprised but kind of respectful. It ain't about escaping anymore. Maya's winning by learning how to live in there, to accept all the parts of herself and still choose to fight for the light. Nobody said it'd be easy, but this victory's the real deal. Finally, it's over. The room's back to that white box. Maya's standing tall. She's done. Not just with the trials, but with the old version of herself. Time for something new, built on all she's learned about fear and pain and that stubborn spark of hope she found inside herself. The room, being dramatic as ever, presents her with a door. Ain't the same one she came in through, though. This one, well, it's a step into the unknown, sure. But Maya, with all she's been through, she ain't just walking back to her old life. She's got scars, yeah, but she's also got wisdom that wasn't there before. Maya puts her hand on the doorknob, connects with something real after all that time in the land of nightmares. Then, she takes a breath and walks through. Whatever's on the other side of that door, she's earned the right to face it head on. And this time, she ain't afraid. Maya takes that step through the door, ready for the world to slam back into place around her. But it don't. The room's still there, same damn white walls as before. But see, ain't the room that's changed. It's Maya. This place, she gets it now. It ain't just about torturing her. The room's her own mind made real, reflecting back everything she was too scared to see before. Every trial, it wasn't some punishment, but a chance to pull the weeds out of her soul and see what was worth growing stronger. She stands there, looking around, feeling like a butterfly fresh out of its chrysalis. The old Maya would have been terrified of the emptiness. Now, she sees it different. The room was her training ground, the place where she got strong enough to build herself anew. Think about it. The room was her mirror, showing her all the ugly thoughts and fears she kept buried. It forced her to deal with them, drag them out into the light. That door opens again, and it ain't back to the world she left, but something altogether new. Morning light, fresh air. A world ain't got time for shadows and self-doubt no more. A world where Maya's finally learned what she's capable of. As she walks away, Maya thinks back, not with bitterness, but, well, kind of like respect for what she went through. She says it out loud, a message for anyone listening.
Suffering? Well, it ain't something to be avoided like the plague. It's a rough kind of teacher, but ain't nothing else can make you see your true power.
See, those nightmares the room threw at her, they forced change. Fighting against that change, holding on to who she was. That'd be like a caterpillar trying to stay inside its cocoon. She had to break down, get messy, to become what she was meant to be. And that's the key, Maya figures. Growth. It ain't about never being afraid, never feeling pain. It's about facing those things, letting them change you, turn you into a tougher, smarter, better version of yourself. She didn't beat the room. That was never the point. She learned from it, let it make her strong. Now, Maya steps out into the real world and ain't nothing looks the same. This ain't escaping back to normal. This is stepping into a whole new life built on hard-won lessons. The room, it'll always be a part of her story, a dark but important chapter. But it ain't who she is anymore. She's the woman who walked through that darkness and came out shining. The world, it ain't a safe place. Maya knows that. But she also knows something the old Maya never would. She's got the strength inside her to handle whatever gets thrown her way. She's learned how to turn fear into fuel, doubt into determination. So, the door closes. Past is behind her. Maya, though? She's looking ahead, eyes on the horizon, ready to write a whole new story. And yeah, there'll be bad chapters, sure. But Maya, she knows how to turn pain into power. She knows change is the only way to get better. And with that knowledge, ain't nothing can hold her back. No shadow can make her cower in fear. This ain't a fairy tale ending. This is real life, messy and complicated. But Maya, she's ready for it. After all she's been through, she's earned the right to walk tall, to face whatever comes with a head held high and a fire in her eyes. Because if there's one thing Maya knows now, it's that even in the darkest of time, there's always a spark of something stronger waiting to be found. Maya stands there, the morning sunlight painting the walls of that place with a false innocence. It looks ordinary now, like any other building, but she knows better. This place, it ain't just bricks and mortar no more. It's where she died and was reborn all at once. She's got to admit, there was a hell of a lot of bad down in those rooms. Times she thought she'd snap, when the room dug into her so deep she wasn't sure what was left to find. But even that pain, it taught her something. Turns out, when you hit rock bottom, the only way left to go is up. See, this place, with its weird white room and nightmares come to life, it was never just about escaping. It was about getting real with herself, facing the demons she'd been hiding from all her life. It was the kind of learning that don't come easy, the kind of scars you can't see. But Maya gets it now. Those scars, they're proof she survived, proof she grew. She turns and walks away. Ain't no regrets in her step, just a quiet understanding that this chapter's done. The journey ain't over, not by a long shot, but she's stepping into a whole new phase. The world out here, it's the real test, the blank page waiting to see what she'll do with the strength she found inside that room. Life, Maya realizes now, it's got its light and its dark, and one can't exist without the other. The room taught her that lesson, hammered it into her soul. There'll be more hard times, more shadows to face, but she won't be running from them no more. She'll walk right through, knowing that even in the worst of it, there's always a chance for something new to grow. That's what sticks with her the most, the idea that she ain't the same person she was when she walked into that place. The fear, the doubt, they're still there, kind of like background noise. But now there's something else, a deep well of strength she didn't know she had, a certainty she can handle whatever comes. The sun rises, and Maya thinks about scars again, the ones you can't see, the ones that tell stories. She thinks about how being strong don't mean being fearless, but knowing that you can face the fear, learn from it, use it. Her story, it ain't finished being written, but now it's hers to tell, and Maya's walking into that future with a different kind of stride. She's got hard-won wisdom in her eyes, scars on her soul that ain't nothing to be ashamed of. She's been through fire and come out the other side, not perfect, but stronger. And yeah, there'll be more darkness. The world's a messy place, but that don't scare Maya no more. She's seen the worst in herself, and she's still standing, still ready to fight for the light. The future ain't something to be feared, it's something to be written, one messy, beautiful, ever-evolving story at a time. And Maya, she's ready to grab that pen and get to work.
We hope you have enjoyed this episode of Quantum Dispatches, and stay tuned next week for another thrilling adventure. Thank you for listening.